Hello, Sustainable Superstars. Welcome to week 8. I'm Rosario Sandoval Beloso, and I am here with my partner, Britt Duncan. In this podcast, we will be talking about Drawdown 2.0 and sustainability expert Jonathan Foley. The history of Jonathan Foley. Jonathan Foley is a world renowned environmental and climate scientist, author, public speaker, educator, and sustainability expert. Foley's groundbreaking research and insights have led him to become a trusted advisor to governments, foundations, non-governmental organizations, and business leaders around the world. He and his colleagues have made major contributions to our understanding of global ecosystems, food security, and the environment, climate change, and the sustainability of the world's resources. According to the Drawdown book by Paul Hawken, Jonathan Foley spent over 2 decades leading interdisciplinary between 2014 and 2018. He served as the executive director of the California Academy of Sciences, the greenest and more forward thinking science museum on the planet. This is where he has been able to teach science to children and adults alike. Foley has published over 130 peer-reviewed scientific articles. Foley has won numerous awards and honors for his work, including the Presidential Early Career Award for Scientists and Engineers, awarded by President Clinton, the J.S. McDonnell Foundation's 21st Century Science Award, an Aldo Leopold Leadership Fellowship, the Sustainability Science Award from Ecological Society of America, and the National Science Foundation's Faculty Early Career Development Award. And in 2014, he was also named as winner of the prestigious Heinz Award for the Environment. Foley's work is focused on understanding our changing planet and finding new solutions to sustain the climate, ecosystems, and natural resources we all depend on. Important topics of Drawdown 2.0. The important topics that are emphasized in the Drawdown 2.0 are the following: reducing the sources of greenhouse gases. This action is key to reducing climate change. We emit greenhouse gases in electricity production at 25%, food, agriculture, land use at 21%, industry at 21%, transportation at 14%, building at 6%, cause climate change, and other 10% of leaks. If we reduce the outputs of these sources, we can move forward to achieve drawdown. The only two-punch method of efficiency and transforming production to renewable is key. Supporting nature sinks for storing carbon. The natural carbon sinks, such as land and the ocean, help remove about 41% of the emissions we produce in the form of carbon. That leaves us with 59% on us. Supporting the natural sinks is crucial, and a way to support them is to protect and restore ecosystems like tropical and temperature forest restoration or coral reefs, shift agricultural practices like regenerative farming and kelp farming, and use degraded land like planting trees and bamboo. Lastly, centering equality in global action, improving equality, especially with women and girls, to gain access to education and healthcare can spur long-term climate benefits. Having educated women can lead to having fewer but healthier children further down the path, and with that being the case, have a positive effect on global population. Securing right of indigenous communities can spur long-term climate benefits. Hey Britt, what can you tell us about relevant facts and numbers?
Thanks, Rosario. Okay, so first we are going to point out that we are at a phenomenal amount of people, which is 90%, that actually believe that climate change is real and or possible. So that in itself is pretty cool. And United States was last to like jump on board with that. So having this percentage this high is amazing. Secondly, Drawdown 2.0 is about solutions to combat climate change and how we could take the steps to achieve them. So rather than in Drawdown 1.0, which is addressing the actual issues, this portion is now about how to make change and go about that. So the solutions must be grounded in science, based on facts, and addressed that multiple sectors are involved in this, and it's not just one single industry. So for example, here we have food, electricity, agriculture, forestry, buildings, transportation, materials, and etc. So all those things combined is how we need to combat it together rather than just one single entity. So recognizing that land plays a role of a quarter of the greenhouse gases emitted, and that 45% of the carbon that we put into the atmosphere stays there, contributing to climate change. But nature also absorbs 55% of the annual CO2 emissions, mostly on lands, but also in the oceans as well. So finding a way to work with nature rather than against it, I think would benefit us most, because a lot of people and a lot of different sectors don't want to necessarily change their ways. All right, next we're going to go over the importance of drawdown and climate solutions. So first, drawdown looks at all the affecting aspects of climate change and focuses on collective goals in a multi-solution approach, so with simultaneous efforts, rather than everybody pointing at one single facet, such as transportation or agriculture or meat and dairy industry. So it's unique in that sense that they know that it's a collective issue and that at some point we all need to contribute, and every single industry needs to do their part in order to help solve climate change and reverse the effects that we have already created. So second, drawdown is presented in a clear and easy to digest format, and that makes people more hopeful and motivated to incorporate the changes rather than a gloom newscast of everything that we're doing incorrect. So I think the drawdown is unique in that sense, and it gives people motivation to go out there and create that change. So that's a positive aspect. And third, the message, like I said, is addressing positives rather than scaring people off with boring language, a ton of acronyms, and stuff that's super hard to digest. This is a more front-bearing, information loading in a positive sense, and helps people accept what we've done and get a solution for that.
Thank you, Britt, for sharing about the importance of drawdown and climate solutions. Now we're going to dive into what we can do to help and what actions can we take. So the first one we have is spreading awareness to those around us to help incorporate sustainable practices into their lives and those around them. Have less cars on the road to reduce emissions. Involve ourselves in various petitions, such as campaigns for deforestations in Brazil, for example, to help the indigenous people. Vote with our dollar, from the food we buy to the politicians we vote into office and everything in between. Provide legal help to represent the indigenous people from public reactions and international pressures. Consume less. Eat less meat and dairy products. Eat more plant-based diets. Bringing more awareness to the meat dairy industry and our land uses. Work more with nature to reduce emissions and find a way to incorporate the sinks that absorb CO2. Thank you. And now I'll hand it over to Britt, where she's going to be telling us a little bit about our references.
All right, lastly, our reference. So we got our drawdown from the drawdown.org website, and we did episode 14. So we thank you for coming to our presentation, and we look forward to hearing you guys' feedback. Thank you.